people are taking Angel Baby a lot more seriously than they did before. They took me seriously,
Mm,
but there is there's a stereotypical thing to everything. Okay, especially in the industry, get stereotyped for it's in general with a lot of people what I look like, how I talk, you know. So
enlighten us, Angel. Enlighten us.
well, like backstage at a show back in the days, years ago. I'm one of the MCs, working with one of the radio stations that I was working with,
Hmm.
and I'm one of the MCs, big old school show, and it was my turn to hit the stage, because we each had a block of different artists that we were going to introduce. I'm coming to the back, walking up the stairs to go to the stage, all happy, in my mind trying to figure out what the heck I'm going to say when I get out there. Security guy at the stop of the stage says, "Where you going?" I said, "I'm gonna go introduce the next act." I said, "No, you're not." I had my other hat on, my lowrider derby hat on, my shades.
Hmm.
I said, "No, you're not." I said, "I'm Angel Baby. Yes, I'm supposed to go up there next." I said, "No, you're not." And I could tell it was just because of the way I looked. He stereotyped me and thought I wasn't supposed to be there.
Hmm.
So it just so happened that the other MC that was going up there with me was coming up behind me. She, where you going? You got to let him go up there. That's Angel Baby. He's up next with us." And the guy didn't know. He apologized to me later. You know, that's what I mean by stereotyping what we look like or sound like. You know what I
Got you.
mean? The old saying, you can't judge a book by its cover.
Yeah.
You know,
And has that happened like in bigger rooms and bigger entertainment industries? Because it sounds like it's also affected in other entertainment industries and stuff.
it's happened quite a bit, man.
Okay.
But then I've always had people after they've heard me and seen what I do on stage, or heard see how I represent and how I handle the professionalism that comes along with me, then they apologize later. "Sorry, we didn't know." And then they want to book me for a gig, and then I charge them more for being like
Charge your ass double.
that.
Double.
Yeah, man.
Wow. Yeah, it's so thank you for sharing that story because, we all do get stereotyped, right? People
Yeah.
get put into a
Oh
box,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sometimes, and I want to get a shout out to AD, is like sometimes it's better when someone can represent you when you're not in the room to
Yeah.
put like a good word out for you, right?
True. Very true.
And I guess the other option is that sometimes you have to show, like you said, show people your greatness
Right.
beyond their assumption of what they think you are
Right.
off of face value, you know? Uh,
Oh, I go into some of the shows, like a show I did maybe about a month ago. All elderly people, all bunch of older people,
mhm.
and it's an oldie show that we're doing. Right down my alley, same thing, right? I go on stage at the beginning. "Hello, I'm Angel Baby. By the way, I'm the new host of the Arla Bow Show," and I could tell, and these are my peers that are there too. They're elders though, and I could see them looking, wondering. Yeah, I'll be honest. They're looking at me. "Who's this dang cholo up there? And why did they give him the Arla job? What the
Mm,
heck?" You know what I mean? I could read
mm.
their faces. You know what I mean? And I'm doing my thing throughout the night. By the end of the night, they're all asking for autographs, taking pictures with me, all happy, high fiving, hugging, and everything, because they enjoyed what I brought to the table there. But at first, they were skeptical. This guy here? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yes. I guess that's so cool how we have to rewrite people's opinions of what they think we are, right?
Exactly.
Only we can do that, I guess, right?
Yeah.
And
Right.
people who represent us in a positive way.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Um